WWE 2K24 is the latest entry in the 2K franchise, and with it, I'm going to say that 2K24, the leap between 23 and 24, is bigger than it went from 22 to 23. So if you currently own 2K22, it is worth picking up 2K24. If you own 23 and you're thinking about 2K24, while it's not necessary, there is enough here to warrant a purchase. When you fire up the game, you'll notice your standard modes from previous entries: My Rise, My Faction, Showcase, GM, etc. All of these are standard at this point and have been part of the franchise the past few years. However, this year's Showcase mode is about WrestleMania, and it's hosted by none other than Corey Graves. Now, it's prototypical as you expected with previous years when we had John Cena and Rey Mysterio, but the big change for me was the fact that in this year's Showcase mode, you actually do not need to complete the objectives in order to get the unlocks. So if you just want to power through a match because you don't care about it or for whatever reason, you can just play it normally, ignore the objectives, complete it, and you'll get the rewards. Where in previous entries, you did actually have to complete the challenges in order to get the rewards. So this is a nice quality of life change for the player. Aside from this, Corey Graves' narration of the Showcase mode in general is pretty good. However, because he wasn't in the ring for the matches he's narrating, it doesn't hold the same weight. And this becomes apparent because there are some matches throughout the Showcase mode where they do have the wrestlers' input. Wrestlers such as Stone Cold Steve Austin or Kurt Angle. They make an appearance in the Showcase mode, giving their 2 cents on the match that they were in. And these ones are far more intriguing and have more weight because the wrestlers that were directly involved are actually commenting on the match themselves versus the ones that don't have it and it's just Corey. It doesn't hold the same weight. Again, it's not a knock on Corey Graves' narration. It's just a knock on the structure and how inconsistent it can feel. Furthermore, once you get to that, we want to talk about the new match types. The match types that we have for this year's edition, the new ones, come in the form of a special guest referee, the casket or ambulance match, and the gauntlet match. Kicking things off with the special guest referee. Now, the special guest referee match, if you're playing solo, isn't so much fun because if you're not playing as the referee, it's a standard referee, and if you are the referee, then it's not as fun because it's 2 NPCs going at it. However, if you're playing with friends, the special guest referee can be very, very fun if you're playing with friends. So how fun and enjoying the match depends on whether or not you're just playing by yourself or you're playing with buddies. Then you have the casket / ambient match. Now I put these together because they're pretty much the same thing. Take your opponent, throw them in, close the door. It's basically how it is. What I will say is, of the 2 matches, the ambulance match is the better match just because there's more you can do within that match versus what you can do with the casket match. So in my opinion, the ambulance match is more intriguing, and it kind of makes the casket match a little irrelevant in my opinion. Then you have lastly the gauntlet match. Now the gauntlet match, there's actually 3 variations to it. It's 1 versus 1 elimination, where 2 people start off, 1 gets eliminated, next wrestler comes out. You have a pure elimination where 2 wrestlers start, and every so often a new wrestler enters the fold. So think Elimination Chamber, but without the chamber. And then the last one is 1 versus multiple. So basically, it's one person having to beat multiple wrestlers in a row in order to win the match. So these are the 3 variations, and you can have up to a 30-person gauntlet, which means the match can be quite long. So those are your match types. And as for the core gameplay for 2K24 is identical to the previous years. You know what you're getting at this point. There are some knocks that I personally had with the gameplay, mainly because these are knocks that were present in previous years. So for example, weapons. Weapons can still feel clunky to pick up and move around. It's not as intuitive as I would like them to be. This has been a constant issue, and it's something that or it's just a little annoying on my end, and it doesn't feel great to use weapons. The other thing that they did with the core gameplay is they added this back and forth, punch situation. It's basically a mini game where you have to hold the button and really set at the right time to hit your punch, and it goes back and forth. It's only available in 1v1 match types. So if you're playing in like an elimination chamber or triple threat, it's not going to happen. And to me, this is just not necessary. It's just more of a gimmick more than anything else. And kind of irritating in my opinion, but it is what it is. And it's just something that it's just inconsistent because it only happens in 1v1 matches and not in any other scenario. Lastly, when it comes to the issues that I have with 2K24, again, much like the previous years, they bloat the roster. And I'm not talking about throwing in like non-wrestlers or anything like that. I'm talking about duplicate wrestlers. This is, to me personally, it's been an issue for me for the past few years, and it's still present here. And what I mean by duplicate wrestlers is you'll go through the menus and you'll see like 5 or 6 John Cenas. That is quite annoying when I'm trying to pick my guy and I'm just looking through it and I'm like, yep, here comes the John Cena. It's time to push up or down multiple times. Like, I understand that each version of John Cena has a different rating, different intro, etc. But why not add another menu where you pick one John Cena, you pick John Cena, and then it opens it up and says, well, which version of him do you want? Kind of like what it does with all the other options. When you pick a wrestler, it's like, do you want to add a manager? What attire do you want to wear? Why not just have another menu like that where you have one John Cena, you click on him, and then you get all the options of which John Cena version you want to be and what the rating is. This way, when you're just going through the standard the menu screen looking for your wrestler, you don't see 5 or 6 John Cenas just to get to the next guy in the J category, as an example. So all of which, the package itself for 2K24, like I said at the top of the video, it is a bigger leap because there's more to it. Everything that was in 2K23 is present in 2K24 and then some. And therefore, as I stated, if you have 2K22, I highly recommend 2K24. If you have 2K23, the recommendation is less palatable, mainly because you have last year's and you're only really getting the 4 match types and obviously the updated rosters, etc. It's not that it's bad. It's just that if you have 2K23, the necessity for 2K24 is lower, but there's still enough here to warrant it because there's more match types. It's not just 1 or 2 match types, it's 4 match types. Obviously the updated roster and things of that nature, plus the super finishers. You put it all together, there's enough here to warrant it. But if you have 2K23, you might be better off waiting for a small sale, where if you have 2K24, or 2K22, sorry, buying 2K24 should become more easy to swallow. Overall, I enjoyed my time with 2K24. I think overall it's a good product. I think if you're a wrestling fan, this is something definitely here worth enjoying. Overall, I'm giving 2K24 an 8.5 out of 10. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.